Welcome back. What conclusion did you come to? Will that particular time be accurate enough for our positioning system? Well, in fact, no, it's not, because you're in a late update inside of your name UI controller, and therefore this time is going to be completely inaccurate as to when your vehicle actually hit the checkpoint. So that's not going to work. And you can try it out, but it's not going to work because you'll end up with a lot of cars with exactly the same time set for them, and therefore sorting them will do no good whatsoever. So where do we put this information? Well, it has to go into the checkpoint manager, where we're getting hold of the lap and the checkpoint at the time we trigger the checkpoint is the actual time we need to record. Okay, so just let's go back into Unity, and we need to find our script for our checkpoints. Okay, so if we just click on our car's rigid body, we'll be able to find our checkpoint manager, or you can look for it in your scripts, which I've got there. And we're going to add in a time entered. Now, I've already got it here, as you can see. So time entered equals 0 initially. And then you want to set time entered to be the time that you entered the checkpoint, which is going to be down in your on trigger. So if we come down into on trigger, you can see that I've already added that as well. So our checkpoint, our last checkpoint, is updated there. Our actual checkpoint that we're sending through to the leaderboard is updated there. And then our time entered, just after that, you can put this line in, and it equals time.time. So it's actually going to have the time that the trigger occurred, which is the time that you want. Right, so add that, and then you save it. We'll go back into our name UI controller, and what do you think you're going to put in here? Well, it's checkpoint manager dot time entered. And that's going to filter its way through into your leaderboard and give us a more accurate position. Okay, so I'm just going to save that, and I'm going to make sure all my code is ready to go, and let's try this out again. So when a car comes up and bumps in behind me in the same checkpoint, I shall retain my position that I got. So let's go up here, and I should get second place. Now if I just slow down and someone else comes up behind me and bumps in, it doesn't flicker between positioning, and now I'm bumping into that other car and it's not changing its position either. Okay, so that actually fixes a little problem with the point system as far as who's in what place. It's basically who got to that checkpoint first. And the more accurate you require this system, then the more checkpoints you do actually need. Now, just to finish this off, we're going to go back into the assets and just change the font that is displaying on our player name. So remember, player name, if you enter into that player name and open up the prefab, you've got this text above it here, which is currently got the lap and the checkpoint and the place in it. Now, just to make it a little bit nicer, there's a font that's attached to this lecture that you can bring in. It's called Edge Race Bevel. You want to add it to the laps. I'm not adding it to my name of my player, but I'll click on the laps. Now, to do this, over in the inspector, you'll have possibly already seen that you can set the font. We're going to drag and drop that Edge Race Bevel onto there, and you can now see the size of it. If you want to make that a little bit bigger, you can size the font up, and then you can also, if you want it a bit bigger like that and you can't see it, remember that you can just resize that box to bring that text back like that. Okay, so then we go out of our prefab, and I'm just going to go back into our name UI control. What I'm displaying in that box, in that text box, I just want it to say position. So let's just put position in there, and I'm going to put a semicolon and just comment out the rest of that line. So you could put that back in there if you wanted to. You could also display the laps if you wanted to, I guess. That would possibly makes sense. So let's just save that, and we'll just switch back into our track and just run it so that you can see what it's going to look like when you play it with all of the players and their positions. There we go. So that's looking quite good. And I think we've all made it through that first corner without a pile-up, which must be a first in my version of this game. All right, so that is your positioning system done. In the next lecture, we're going to come back and use exactly the same leaderboard scripts that we've written and add a little bit more so that we can put a display of the leaderboard on the screen so that you can see who's in what place.